Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. That is the card that we will be making. It's messy, fussy, lots of dimension, texture, different elements for the brand new In Good Taste suite that's available to you on June 3rd. I love this suite. It's deliciously masculine and feminine at the same time with those fantastic images on there, and I love the font too. You have background images, sentiments, line art, the tasteful label dies that coordinate with it. They're going to be like on almost everything. Look at the shapes and the sizes, and on the left there you can see there's like 3 lines that will impress and die cut into that die. And I can't wait to show you more about this. Along with the suite is a tasteful textile embossing folder, and that is what it looks like embossed onto petal pink cardstock, which is one of the colors of the suite. And then we have the In Good Taste wood elements. And there's 5 of them. You have like the large leaf there and a sprig. Then there's like a coordinating smaller leaf that I'll show you on the left coming up. But each side of them is like a different color. One's more like a naked wood, and the other one has maybe some stain on it a little bit. And then you have like these 2 little teeny tiny accent pieces. Okay, there's that leaf. And I'm coming up with them real soon. Okay, top is like a hexagon, and the bottom can be like an X or a T, depending on how you line it. You place it on your card or project and line it up. Then designer series paper, and this is beautifully neutral, and I'm zipping through this, but the colors in this suite are petal pink, early espresso, night of navy, very vanilla, even though the DSP has a white base, so it's that mixed thing that I talked about last week, with smoky slate, gray granite, and basic gray. There's stone in here. There's wood DSP, and the herringbone that comes in all the colors I just told you about. And this suite is so flexible with everything that it has, and I've been having way too much fun with it, and I think that you're going to love it too. So to get started, I'm bringing in the Forever Greenery gold twine that I showcased last week that goes with that suite. And then we have the gilded gems from the Ornate Gardens, sequins left over from Paper Pumpkin, and that's why I strongly encourage you to subscribe to that. I put the clean mount stamp on the block there. Our card is going to be top folding A2 thick whisper white, and then we have 2 additional layers of regular whisper white. Measurements, everything like that will be on the blog at cindybdesigns.com. Link is below. But I did cut down 3 panels, 1/4 inch. So the card is 4.5 across, 4.25 across by 5.5 down. That panel there was 4 by 5.25, and this one on top is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. You could put dimensionals under that one rather than snail like I did, but it shortens up the working space you have to deal with, but keep the card interesting. That is a piece of our vellum cardstock. I took our embossing buddy, rubbed it all over, for the static cling thing, and I'm stamping the feather image on there with Versamark 6 times. I'm taking our gold embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle that over the image there, and then tap off the excess. I'll be grabbing in my paintbrush, and I'm off screen a little bit with this one towards the bottom. Heat tool I'm bringing in. Remember, embossing is setting 2. Let it warm up. The less heat you have on your cardstock, especially vellum, the better, because you don't want to burn it or warp it, and you want to let that air go through. And you can emboss from the top or the bottom, and that feeling really never gets old about just watching the powder melt and turn into what it does. So I'm twisting and turning it, making sure, all the powder is, there we go. And I'm going to cut it down by each feather and then fussy cut each one out because there is not a die cut for this. But if you look at the edges, it is so easy to fussy cut. And we went over this last week or a couple weeks ago about turning the paper in your scissors rather than the scissors itself. So this is what we are looking like with our glue dots. That's the package that they come in. These are glue dots from Paper Pumpkin that I have left over. And I have 3 sizes of them. What I just showed you is what our glue dots are. I have the large there that I already put on back of the feathers and the small in the top right. But again, I cannot tell you, subscribe to it because I use my Paper Pumpkin in a lot of cards. So I sped this up like way too much. I have a black Stampin' Up marker there and I'm going to flick some ink onto it. And you do that just by using the cap, aiming it the right way onto your cardstock, and you get like those nice little splatters there. Now that that's done, I'm bringing in the card base again, and I'm going to line up our sentiment there, kind of blow it a little bit, try to adjust it, and everything comes off. So I throw it back down and then pick it back up. Now we're not going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black like at the beginning of the video I showed. I changed midstream to Night of Navy because I did use the black splatters and I wanted a little bit of contrast there. And when your ink is around the edges of your stamp like that, that is where you make mistakes. And I thought that I could wipe it off, but just a mistake there. Ended up having to do the whole thing, make sure it's dry, re-ink it up, and I laid that down like 3 or 4 times. So it's not quite black, but you can tell it's blue. So moving on, I figured we might as well get the middle or the inside of the card done. And once again, I'm stamping that up in Night of Navy. Lay that down 3 times. And I'm going to pull those large glue dots off of our feather there, our embossed feather, and then just go ahead and put that down, left of the card there, and the inside is done. So I'm bringing in that gold thread again, and I'm cutting a length off. I probably should have gone longer, but there are 10 strands in there. And again, I see Christmas with this a lot, which I will be using it for. And I'm pulling it all apart. And I'm only keeping 2 strands of that together and lining them up because I want to do a very messy thread nest behind the feathers like you saw at the very beginning there, just to give it like a little bit more dimension. And again, it's messy and it is sloppy, and it's that way for a reason because we only have like 3 images and a sentiment on front. So when you get really simple like that, you have to step it up, church it up a little bit and make it happen. So this feather here, I'm trying to get like that perfect thread nest. Didn't happen. You kind of see me struggle a little bit, but it does turn out in the long run. And then I'm using the glue dots on the back to keep the threads down and also to adhere it. So with the second one, yeah, that's how we look. With the second one, I just go ahead and leave it turned over and, that strategic, cool arranging thing, doing that. But I will be featuring this product suite all next week on the blog, and I'll show you the cards at the very end there that I've already done. So I'm going to cut off like some stragglers there, so everything looks neat. And with the last feather down there, I'm going to tilt that more towards the left. You don't want to put it underneath the 2 feathers exactly because then it looks like a really bad smile like that, ooh. And there we go. Now I am bringing in the Gilded Gems from the Ornate Garden Suite and doing that rule of odds, the 3, the triangular placement. fine tip glue pen. You don't see me use this too often, but I have been a lot lately with getting adhesive down those, and it does dry clear. That is our take your pick tool, and I'm going to be using the little gummy part at the end there to grab the sequins and lay them down. A lot of people have two of them, which I do. I just haven't put the other two ends on it because there's 4 attachments altogether, and you have like 2 on one and 2 on the other, and you like double hand it rather than me using my fingers to, get the sequins down like that. I could have just taken like another take your pick and, help myself out there. So we are getting into, this is like the fastest voiceover ever, into the home stretch there. And yes, manicure, I'm so thrilled. It's like the best I've ever had. And there we are. This is a great feminine card, a great masculine card. And again, it's like very messy and artistic, super easy to make, very encouraging towards other people. We've gotten a lot unlocked this week, and yeah, I've been playing way too much in public. And with something like this, I kind of wish I had put like the second layer, very vanilla, just for that stacking aspect and that contrast, because like I said last week, you can mix and match them. This is what you're going to be seeing next week on the blog of the concept art cards. And I used a lot of materials in here, just all product suite related. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe, and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and be well and be safe, because you know what, we're all going to make it. So God bless, and I will see you next week and hope that you join me.